Hey guys, Prowl 1701 here, and today we're going to talk about the Shooty Got Why era, or RTD2, or whatever we want to call Season 1. So, Season 1 is about to drop. I'm curious, what are your thoughts? Are you excited? Are you cautiously optimistic? Are you trying to be cautiously optimistic? Are you absolutely dreading it? Where do you stand before any of the episodes air? Uh, I'm trying to be cautiously optimistic. I want to be cautiously optimistic. I know it's not going to be like the John Pertwee era or the Tom Baker era or the Patrick Troughton era, which I wish I could get a season like that, but it's not. It's its own thing. It's modern Doctor Who, and it's not even like Russell's first era or even Moffat's era. It's going to be very different, and that's fine. Doctor Who is a show about reinventing itself. Do I have worries? Yes, I have worries. You listen to Shooty Gatwa talk about this new season, and it's Russell. When Russell talks about the new season, it doesn't really bother me. Bother me. Russell always sounds like a very educated person to me when he talks in interviews. I actually enjoyed listening to Russell talk most of the time. I didn't like the whole Davros situation, but that's another story. But he obviously speaks with a very educated manner, which I can respect. I am looking forward to seeing what the new era is going to be like. I, of course, will be watching it. I'm not one of those people that stopped watching Doctor Who full stop for whatever reason. I'm very much somebody. Let's see who that is. Oh, unknown 289. Sent me a message on the Patreon. I have to check that. I'm very much curious to see what this new era is going to be like. Obviously, the money is there. We can tell from the trailer they're putting that Disney money to use. This will probably be the best looking season of Doctor Who we've ever had. Now, whether that's a pro or a con is going to depend on you, because there is that argument that Doctor Who having that polished look kind of makes it not feel like Doctor Who. As Doctor Who, we kind of associate it with being that low budget, wobbly set, even though that's usually not the case. You know what I mean, though. That low end sci-fi show. That's just kind of to me, that's part of the DNA of Doctor Who. So I'm curious to see if this is going to feel like Doctor Who or if it's going to feel like something else. I'm curious to see what Shooty Gat was going to bring to the role. I thought his performance in The Church on Ruby Road was fine. He has a strong energy he brings to the role. He has a charisma he brings to the role. Now I don't want another Doctor that's just really hyper, like 10 and 11 and 13, even though I don't necessarily think they're all hyperactive in the same way. I do want a more not as bouncing off the walls Doctor. And I feel like Shooty Gatwa does have a different type of energy. I'm curious to see what he's going to do with that. I'm looking forward to seeing more of Ruby Sunday. I wasn't really enamored with her in The Church on Ruby Road. Again, it was one episode, but I didn't really click with her, so I'm kind of curious to see uh, what I'll think of her as the season progresses. I'm curious to see all the different types of stories we're going to get. The titles don't really do much to give it away for me. Space Babies is a terrible title, but I'm not going to judge a story just by its title. That's not fair. Boom sounds interesting. The dot bubble. I can't remember the names of all of them, but the names sound interesting. 73 yards. I wonder what that is. That has me going, I'm curious to see where they're going to go with it. I'm trying to avoid all the little spoilers and hints, and this shot from the trailer goes with uh, this part. This shot of the trailer goes with this story, and so on and so on and so on. I try to avoid all that. I like going into a story blind. I like the fact Stephen Moffat is back. I think he wrote Boom. I'm looking forward to that. Stephen Moffat is at his best when he's not the showrunner and when he's just kind of writing one story a season. We get like peak Moffat there. I mean, the best Jodie Whittaker story ever done was by Stephen Moffat, the short story he did during lockdown called Terror of the Umpity Umps. It's easily my favorite Jodie Whittaker story, even though it's a novel, so it doesn't really have Jodie Whittaker in it. I guess it's more appropriate to say 13th Doctor story. But I loved it. It's a little short story. You can find it online. Just type in Terror of the Umpity Ums. It's fantastically good. And the 13th Doctor really feels like the Doctor in it. I absolutely adore that story. And it was Stephen Moffat who wrote it. So I'm curious to find out about Boom. I don't mind the fact Russell's writing most of the stories. The fact that Russell's writing most of the stories means he knows where the season's going to go. He's got his season arc pinned down. I don't mind that. I'm fine with him doing 6 of the 8 episodes. I do think Doctor Who needs to be more. I think eight episodes is too few, especially with Disney dropping 2 episodes in 1 week. That really only gives us 7 weeks of new Doctor Who. I think that was a terrible idea. And I'm very, very sure that dropping 2 episodes at once was Disney's idea, not Russell's, not the BBC's, because Disney tends to do that with their shows. When a new show comes out, they tend to air the first 2 episodes. So I think that's very indicative of Disney having a big say in what goes on in the production of this new era of Doctor Who. I don't know if I like that. I really tend to not like Disney having their hands in things these days. I'm enjoying X-Men 97, to be fair. But a lot of the Star Wars shows, well, they're kind of hit or miss with me. I love Mandalorian, I love Tales from the Jedi, but I don't really care for the other stuff. Um, so I really don't like Disney. I don't like American companies in general, but especially Disney kind of having their claws in Doctor Who. I think it's an inherently British show. I wouldn't mind an American showrunner. I wouldn't mind an American director, American writer. I don't mind that, but just it needs to have that quintessential British feel to it to me. And this is coming from someone who loves the TV movie, which we all know was a joint production. But I love the TV movie. But let's be honest, the TV movie was very Americanized. Uh, Probably the most American piece of Doctor Who we've ever gotten. So I'm curious to see. I'm nervous about Disney having that kind of influence on Doctor Who. Like we know they added in that one scene from the Church of Ruby Road with the Doctor and the Snowmen and all that. Although the scene's fine, it's nothing special, but it's fine. But I'm trying to keep an open mind. I'm trying not to let some of the things Shooty Gatwa says make me nervous. I mean, it's very obvious a lot of the season's going to be pushing some very liberal ideas, which I'm not saying is inherently bad. Most of you know I'm not really conservative or liberal. I have liberal views and conservative views. I have views from the left, I have views from the right. It just depends on the subject we're discussing. That's how I make up my mind where I stand on every issue by the issue. So I don't think that's necessarily inherently a bad thing. I'm just wondering how far they're going to carry it because I find either extremes, the left and the right, to be dangerous. You know, anything carried to the extreme just about can be dangerous. So I'm keeping an open mind, trying to keep an optimistic open mind, hoping Russell still has the magic he did back when he first came back because Series 1, Series 3, and Series 4 are all phenomenally good seasons. And Series 2 definitely has its highs. So we'll see. I'm curious to see how it's going to go. I, of course, will be watching. I will be reviewing each story. I may even react to each story. We'll see. It's on Disney Plus. I can record that and do reactions to it. We'll see. Would y'all like to see reactions in addition to reviews? Comment down below and let me know. So that's kind of where I am as it's about to drop. I'm not going to be rushing to watch them, but I do intend on watching them. I don't think I'll watch episodes 1 and 2 back to back. I'll probably watch episode 1 and then watch episode 2 later the same day. I don't think I'll just rush one into the other, but I'm looking forward to the new era and see what it brings us. And high hopes. High hopes. So I want to know what you think. Comment down below and let me know. Don't forget to click the like button and the subscribe button and the bell for notifications so you never miss out on another video. I also have a Patreon. If you would like to support me that way, there's a link to my Patreon down in the description below. I want to give a shout out to a couple of my top tier patrons, Colin Coney and Perkins. I appreciate their support as I do the support of all of my other patrons. I have my P.O. Box down there if there's anything you'd like to send me to look at and review. A link to my Amazon wish list is down there. A link to my Amazon UK wish list is down there as well. Most importantly, thank you for watching. How do I stop this thing?